its entirety. There you go. And we have these wonderful players. They're all from Perth. I'm going to introduce them all individually a little bit later when you realise how they're all pretty good. So you can have you can cheer for your favourite kind of thing. That'd be a great sort of. Any luck?
Yeah.
Yes, you got the camera.
Yeah. With a bag of beans.
Thank you. All right. Oh, fuck. Oh, great. Thanks. Because I can't hear, I can't find them either because I'm blind as well. Okay, so I wonder if I should put them in and then keep talking or put them in at the end of my talk. That's the kind of big decisions I have to make. Well, you can see how well I've made it here today because I've got this little thing here and it's adjustable. The brightness, look, it's not just on and off brightness, it's adjustable. It's terrible that I'm using this, but it all happened so long ago. I haven't been able to punch it all completely into my head yet. I met Grant McLennan in New York in 1988. He was at a bookstore. Him and Robert and Amanda were standing on a table that was normally covered in books. Half the books had been moved back. They were standing there playing in this like Barnes and Noble or something like that. And I hadn't really thought much about the go-betweens at all. I had no real opinion of them. I was sort of not, I was sort of well disposed towards them. I hadn't seen them, I hadn't really listened to them. I walked through the door and I saw them play and I thought they were the most incredible, it was bizarre and surreal how good these three Australian musicians were, being various, as the whole fucking, like, we don't fucking care about your bookshop. and Amanda was, of course, a beautiful young woman playing the violin. And Robert Foster was like rock and roll's Malcolm Fraser. So when I met him, oh hi, how are you? He's like, yes. And Grant ran over to me, and in like 2 minutes, I felt like he and I had been best friends and all of our lives, and we just fell in like a sort of hand in glove kind of thing. And he said, listen, when we get back to Australia, we'll make a record. Sure enough, we all got back to Australia eventually, and I went around his flat in Bondi Junction, just opposite the methadone clinic. So I'm just mentioning that as back. There was no connection between us.
Connection.
That's just. Grant was living with these two women, and they just not in a kind of an erotic way. These two women who Grant. It was their sort of gig to look after Grant. Like, they had other jobs too, but they took care of him. That when I turned up, they were a bit like, oh, so Grant, it's sort of like, oh, he's here. It's like, we don't know how you're going to go without Grant. You better sort of like, they were looking in on it like that. Anyway, we decided to make a record. We made it in Balmain. I'm sure you've heard of a studio being possessed. Have you ever heard of that? This studio is being repossessed. Yeah, Steve will give you a good rate. Not all of the stuff will be there all the time. So they were taking stuff away, and Grant and I were making our record. And we had a lot of fun. It's hard to talk about Grant and not turn this whole thing into a hagiography. You know what I mean? It's hard, but it is hard to overestimate how sort of charismatic and quirky and fucking humorous and all of the stuff he could do and manifest music straight out of the air. Anyway, at the end of this long and tedious anecdote, ladies and gentlemen, is a story that when we first met, Grant said, listen, we've got to put this band together, we're going to call it the Drug Lords. It's going to be you and me and Paul Kelly and Neil Finn. Okay, I said, yeah, I'll be in on that for sure. I said, we run it by, oh, no, they'll be, Grant was saying, no, trust me, they're in, they'll be in. So we met Paul Kelly at King's Cross, and Grant sort of he tried to explain to him what Jack Frost was going to be. And I just remember him sitting as staring ahead, drinking his coffee, sort of going, I see. And then when he went away, Grant said, oh, he's not going to do it. I said, no, I don't think so. I said, let's scrub Neil Finn as well. And Grant, actually, here's to really update this situation. Grant said, what about Bruce Springsteen? Grant said, I met him in America. He said he'd love to be part. I said, he's that outrageous jerk. He doesn't have any talent. He's just a pushy guy. Yeah, we'll see how it works out for him when he gets back home, won't we? So, anyway, at the end of this extremely long now and overdone anecdote, I just want to mention the first time Grant and I got together, he said, I want to write a song called Bird Owner. Even before we'd done anything else, he had this title. So that's where it came from. And we're going to give it to you right now. Thank you.